Alright. Whoops. I'm gonna try to be consistent. I don't know what the hell is happening. It's fine. We will figure it out. I'm assuming we just had a fight in the parlor. Whoops. Jessica suddenly started coughing. At first, I thought that ignore this wine that I'm about to pour. At first, I thought that she was just choking after yelling too loud, but it seemed to be lasting too long for that, and she really looked like she was suffering. Jessica kept coughing and choking, down on her hands and knees.
Jessica,
I think she has asthma. Yeah, doctor, come on.
Jessica-san, 吸入器を早く。私が持ってきているのがあります。
Right, do something. Dr. Nanjo pulled a bronchodilator inhaler from his own bag, which was lying on the sofa, and handed it to Kanan-kun. Come to think of it, 6 years ago, didn't Jessica sometimes break into violent coughing and have to use that? But 6 years ago, I never saw Jessica look like she was in this much pain. Yeah, 6 years ago, 6 people were alive that are not dead. So.
こんなに喘息ひどかったっけ？ここ数年でだいぶ悪くなったんだよ。大丈夫な時はいいんだけどね。突然発作が来ると咳が止まらなくなるんだよ。
Get her that albuterol. Ooh.
お嬢様、お薬です。さあ。
If you're just joining in, fuck this guy. I don't trust him. I don't trust any of the servants. Let's do a little recap real quick. Hold up. Alright, there's a riddle going on. Everyone's dying. According to this riddle. I don't think they officially know that yet, but it's pretty obvious. Yeah. So 6 people are dying, and then somebody else is gonna die. Those who remain shall tear apart the 2 who are close. 2 are gonna die. Those who remain shall praise my noble name. I don't know what that means. Someone dies here, 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 here. On the 9th twilight, the witch will revive, and none shall be left alive. So people are dying, and we have our first 6 gone, right? This man, the Ewan Owen of the crew, right, is missing. None of the servants are to be trusted because it's a standard mystery. But there's so many holes in how the mystery was carried out at this point that I personally believe that it could be anyone. Which I only say separately because fucking the culprit is trying to make it appear as if there is another person on this island who we have not met yet. It could be that person, right? But it could also be any of these people. Just based off of how this thing is playing out so far, is what I think. Taking the inhaler from Kanan-kun, Jessica used... I'm gonna drop the honorifics, bro. Jessica used it with a practiced hand. For a while, it looked like her throat was still feeling itchy, but it gradually settled down.
大丈夫かよ、ジェシカ。びっくりしたぜ。
大したことねえよ。
Beads of sweat covered Jessica's whole body, and she couldn't hide her rough breathing, but it looked like her sudden attack had calmed down for now. This disturbance had left the room's hostile atmosphere in an awkward, unsettled state. But that was fine. There was absolutely no need to be driving up everyone's suspicions of each other. Ooh, debatable. When you think about it, even probing at each other's alibis and searching for the killer were probably completely unnecessary. There's so many holes, right? That like it's probably not good to like raise discord, but we need to figure out who this person is, bro. After all, we're just powerless, ordinary people. And when the police come tomorrow, they'll definitely employ cutting-edge techniques and investigate the case thoroughly. Solve all of the riddles and arrest the killer. See, but she told y'all in that damn note that she's not gonna stop. So where do we go from here?
確かにバトラ君の言う通りかしら。夏日姉さんが疑わしいように、私たちも疑わしさを拭えていない。それを今議論し合うのは確かに不毛ね。明日警察に全てを任せれば済むだけの話よ。
In theory, right?
でもバトラ君だって知りたいんじゃないの？犯人を。大切な人を失った痛みを思い知らせてやるために1秒でも早く知りたいんじゃない？
That plus, why do we think we're still safe?
それは否定しないです。
Like, why have we not considered that the killer could be in this room? And why do we not act accordingly? Is how I feel.
これだけの上等を決めてくれやがった野郎。でもだからといって18人の中の誰かを疑いたくはない。
You gotta grow up, baby.
さっきはああ言ったが、俺はエヴァおばさんだって疑いたくない。
But I do get it. Like, from his point of view, like, this is your family that you've known minus 6 years all your life, right?
俺にとってのエヴァおばさんはちゃめっ気があっていつも楽しくさせてくれる最高のおばさんだ。
He was gone for 6 years. 6 people are dead.
そんなおばさんとこんな罵り合いはしたくねえ。
I'm gonna ruminate on that.
ここにいる誰だってそんなことは望んでねえはずさ。だろみんな。バトラ君に同じ
You would,
意味のない
George.
罵り合いだね。
I guess.
多分これだけの人数が朝から一ところにずっと集まってるから
Bro,
みんな
what?
ストレスが溜まってるんだよ。
Let this have been my family, bro. We're getting to the bottom of this shit.
でしょうな。無理もないことです。言ってできるものではありませんが、なるべく皆さんリラックスしましょう。
You know who else is gonna relax? The killer. Sorry. I'm sorry. Someone has to disagree.
わしらも頭を冷やすべきとちゃうか。レシートの件は確かにお父さんの失踪を探る上で重要な手がかりになると思うで。警察が来たら話すといいやろ。
Man, you will go along with whatever the crowd wants, is what I feel.
そうね。
Yeah, she's like, I gotta stand down.
そうレシートの一件でつい鬼の首を取ったような気持ちになっちゃったのね。確かに夏日姉さんだけを疑うのはフェアじゃないわ。
The 180 she's done for her kind husband. I'm weak.
私たちだって等しく疑わしい。でもねバトラ君、レシートの話だけは本当よ。これ忘れないでね。
Period.
そしてこれがどういう意味を持つかもう一度よく考えてみてね。
Period. She said, I'll play nice for now, but let's be fucking for real. Yeah. Auntie Eva and Uncle Hideyoshi stood up. It looked like they planned on leaving the parlor.
結局私たちはこんな推理ごっこしても意味はないのよ。
Especially if y'all are gonna be like that.
だっ
Shit.
てどうせ警察が全て明かしてくれるんですもの。
That's right. Even if we don't play this detective game, when the typhoon passes and those lively seagulls return to the harbor, everything will settle itself. When the seagulls cry. Girl, they's not making it that far, bro. It's in the title. Yes, if you think about it, this kind of crime is completely trivial. It will definitely be resolved. Even if we do nothing. When the seagulls cry.
これ以上夏日姉さんも私の顔を見ていたくはないでしょう。私も同じよ。
Wow.
確か姉さんは昨日ゲストハウスに帰らなくて済むようにって客室を用意してくれたの。
I'm not sleeping in that mansion. I'm sleeping in the guest house. And I'm still not sleeping in the guest house, to be honest.
あそこはバスもトイレもあるし、
I'm not going to sleep.
鍵もチェーンもかかる。横になれるベッドもあるし、主人もマリアちゃんとチャンネル争いをせずにテレビを見ることができるわ。
They're just gonna lock themselves in the room. With a chain.
お好きになさるといいでしょう。
Hey, you need to put this gun down. Okay.
くれぐれも用心を。ありがとう姉さん。そして余計なお世話よ。姉さんはみんなの監視をよろしくね。犯人はこの中に必ずいるんだから。
Period. She said, I don't give a fuck about all that bullshit y'all just said.
そして姉さんも自分が監視をされていることをお忘れなく。
She thinks it's her 100%.
捨て台詞はそれで十分ですか。
But get her together.
十分よ。じゃあね夏日姉さん。源氏さん、夕食になったら呼んでね。それまでチェーンをかけて閉じこもってるわ。
With the chain, bro. Alright, who's next? Tear apart the two who are close?
カノ。
Oh, Lord.
お二人を客室までお送り。
Yeah, let's have those two taken to the guest room, okay?
結構よ。送り狼なんて嫌だもん。むしろ私たちが部屋に行くまで誰もこの部屋を出ないでくれる方が安心よ。
Period.
ジョージ行くわよ。
They're gonna take George?
僕はここでみんなといるよ。
I'm not leaving my parents, bro. Everyone else's parents are dead. I'm not leaving my parents.
ジョージ、この部屋に犯人がいる。
No, like literally, did you not hear me?
そんなところにいるつもり？
Yeah, don't play with me.
この部屋を出るということは親族の誰かを疑うのと同じことだよ。
God dang it, George. Is George next? Tear apart the two who are close?
僕はあんな恐ろしいことができる人間が
Oh my god.
親族にいるなんて信じない。
Oh, bro.
ジョージ、あなたからも言ってやってよ。
ジョージももう一人前の男や。
See?
そのジョージの仁義がこの部屋から出えへん言わせるならそれも勝手やろ。
Okay, so when George dies, I need you to remember that you said that, okay?
好きにさせたれ。
父さん。
Auntie Ava and Uncle Hideyoshi left. The only voice that called after them was the sound of the rain. If I were her, I'd be like, we finna lock all the servants in a room right then and there. The parlor was being buried beneath the savage atmosphere. When I looked at the clock, I was surprised to find that it was already evening. Had we really spent that much time worrying, talking, and fighting about such needless things? Okay, so we're 24 hours on day 2, and the police will be here tomorrow. How are all these people gonna die in that short amount of time? Feeling bored, I started clawing at my head when Maria and I made eye contact. Since I thought she was completely immersed in the TV, I was a little surprised.
今なら信じるぜ。
So precious when she's being normal.
手紙も殺人もすべてベアトリーチェの仕業だ。
Sure.
いや、むしろ頼むからそうだと名乗り出てほしいぜ。19人目の仕業ってことにさせてくれ。
She's gonna be like, she will when she's revived and no one is left alive.
俺たち18人はいつまでも互いを疑い合わなくちゃならねえ。これなら 19人目の存在を信じる方がマシさ。
Truly.
扉も窓も開けずにじいさまを外へ連れ出すなんて。ベアトリーチェならお茶の子さいさいなんだろう。
Maria, after taking a single short breath, hung her head and then raised her face again. Oh my gosh. Period.
そうだよ。魔女の前に扉の鍵なんて何の役にも立たないんだよ。ベアトリーチェは72柱のすべてに精通する。
The
33位のガープは望む相手を望む場所へ瞬時に運ぶ力を与えるし。
So Gop took grandfather out of his room and kept the door sealed.
彼女にとってどのような密室に閉じこもった人間だろうと連れ出すことは難しいことでも何でもないんだよ。
So in Higurashi, people were like hallucinating things all the time, right? So just because you saw it happen didn't mean it was actually happening, but what matters was the end result, right? Magic in this game works the same way. What matters is the end result, right? What matters is what's observable by everyone, right? And so Natsuhi was the only person that saw grandfather. She said she saw grandfather, had a whole conversation in the room with him, right? No one else has seen this man since the shit started, bro. No one has seen this man since the shit started. And when Natsuhi and Ava both go up there, he's not in there and the room is sealed. Meaning it had not been opened since Natsuhi opened it, went in there, locked it back. And then that door did not open again. The windows were shut, the door was sealed. My theory, he was never in here. He was never in the room. And because we saw some bullshit, right? Natsuhi has to be a part of whatever's happening. Or she's hallucinating. Something's not right. Somebody's lying, is all I got so far. This child is saying a demon pulled grandfather out of the room, and we're just gonna take that, ball it up, and throw it away.
頼むから。もしまた事件を起こす気なら、絶対に人間には無理なことをして。
Because if a demon can do it, if a witch can do it, that means that a human couldn't do it, right? And if a human can't do it, then you can't suspect any of the 18. But fuck that. It's one of these bitches, bro.
俺に19人目の、
Yeah.
魔女の存在を信じさせてくれよ。
The culprit is someone who knows about Beatrice and her tricks. And the only people that even give a shit about Beatrice and her tricks are this little girl, the grandfather, and the fucking servants. But the servants are family friends, so no one wants to doubt the servants, right? But I just feel like maybe it's too easy if it is the servants. I feel like it's more than one for sure. Because, like, I don't think one person can just do all this. I think people are agreeing to lie, basically. Damn it. I don't even understand my own thoughts anymore. When I'm led to believe in a 19th person, I deny it. And when I'm led to believe that there are only 18 people, I deny that too. Even though I wish that there were more than just 18 people here, I can't accept the existence of that 19th person. In short, even though there are more than 18 people, there are less than 19. The number of people in this mansion is greater than 19, but less than... is greater than 18, but less than 19. So the number of people can't be represented by an integer. However, it's impossible for there to be anything after the decimal point. You shouldn't be able to represent the number of people with anything but an integer. And yet, 19 is greater than x, which is greater than whatever. You know how to read. Why does a fraction less than 1 play into this? It's no wonder. That 19th person is an invisible being that can't be seen. That's why, in the integer representation that must be used to describe numbers of people, she can't be seen. That which cannot be seen. Because Beatrice has no body. Therefore, she is invisible. Is there a 19th person or not? Does the witch exist or not? X is less than 19, but greater than 18. The witch exists somewhere in that X. Yes, I guess. It makes sense. Kind of. I don't know. My ass, I would just suspect them. Let's see. 8 o'clock. Holy God. I hope no one's dead. Right? Oh, the two who are close. It's time. It's time. What does it say? Hang on. Hold the state refresh running through the middle of the town old. You see people's land, follow its path on stream and search the key. As you travel down it, you'll see a village. In that village, look for the shore the two speak up. There the key to the Golden Land sleeps. You who laid hand upon the key, most journeyous, follows to the Golden Land. I think this is like where the gold is. And then this is like... I think this is like where the gold is, and then this is like how to get to the gold. But the murders are going according to this part, and we're about to. Those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. Okay, cool. The uncomfortable atmosphere continued even after those two left. I was sick with the idea that thinking about who the killer was would be the same as deciding who to doubt. It had begun to feel like discussion of the incidents was itself taboo. Everyone's still in this damn parlor, so no one was mentioning it, at least out loud. However, those thoughts are what filled our minds. And if we heard a gunshot in the, like, would we be able to hear it since they're in the mansion? All that we couldn't say aloud made our heads feel like they were going to explode. So at least on the outside, the parlor had once again regained its calm mood, though everything was left unsettled.
少しだけ雨足が弱まった気がするね。
まだいっぱい降ってるよ。
仮にやんだってこの島には船がねえんだしな。船が明日すぐに来てくれりゃいいんだがよ。洋館バカンさんもうお腹いっぱいだぜ。
Oops.
母さん、明日船はいつ来るのかな。
Questions that need answers.
帰りの船は今日の3時に来てくれることになっていました。先方も台風が過ぎてから出直すと電話をしてくれたでしょうが、あいにく電話は普通ですから。でも向こうも子供の使いではありません。客人の方々の送迎目的だと教えてありますから、おそらく明日の朝一番で、多分9時頃に来てくれるでしょう。
It was completely black outside. When I looked at the clock, I realized that it was just past 7. I was starting to get hungry. Oh, God. Sorry. In the kitchen, Kumasawa was cooking enthusiastically. She had laid out a variety of dishes, and while they didn't match the level of Goda's artful cooking, they were still quite gorgeous. It was an act of kindness from Kumasawa, trying to use food to enliven everyone's low spirits. Kumasawa wasn't nearly as talented as a professional cook like Goda, but she was far from unskilled. On the contrary, since she had been brought up in a fishing village, the simple food she created was sometimes very highly valued. Okay, so the servants are in the kitchen. Okay. Cannon arranged the food Kumasawa had finished creating on plates under her direction. Cannon also helped in the kitchen sometimes, but since he was rarely placed in that role, he was slightly awkward, even though he tried his best. Self-conscious about the fact that he couldn't skillfully arrange the food, Cannon's expression darkened slightly. But Kumasawa smiled to say everything was fine.
綺麗に盛り付けられてますよ。カノン君もお上手ですよ。シャノン姉さんだったらもっと綺麗に。
Cannon stopped arranging the food for a bit and hung his head. Shannon was the one who always assisted Kumasawa in her cooking. Tonight, Kanon was doing it instead. And as he remembered Shannon's face and her brutal end, he grimaced. I don't like... Why are you in the kitchen? You're a doctor, bro. Genji spoke kindly to Kanon as he advanced upon. Y'all are playing chess? Strategizing? In the kitchen? These dumbass... Bruh. Nanjo had escaped from the parlor once the mood had become sour, and Genji had become his opponent in a game of chess upon Nanjo's request. I don't know what they're going to talk about, but I'm going to just take everything they say with a grain of salt. Genji purposefully faced away from Kanon as he spoke. He did so because he understood that it might make things tougher on Kanon if he noticed that someone was looking at his eyes. Bruh. Nanjo also understood that and held back any thoughtless words. Yeah, y'all don't want to piss off Kanon. I wonder why. I'm so sorry. I might be going too hard on him. I don't trust none of them. I wonder where Kinzo's... Oh, whoops, sorry. As he has arranged. Okay. That I don't like that look. Anyway. I don't like how they refer to themselves as furniture either. Like... I wouldn't be surprised if, like, some of them know something and some of them don't know something. You know what I mean? Because of the way they're talking. I bet you have no fears, Genji. Nanjo sighed through his nose and made a carefully considered move. Nanjo was very slightly dubious. Could Genji possibly think that he would be left out of this? Is Nanjo just like another unwitting pawn, not aware of what's going on? He couldn't begin to imagine what was happening inside this mansion, but he definitely couldn't deny the possibility that it was something of Kinzo's design. Is Nanjo just literally hanging out? If you liken this island to chess, Kinzo had opened the game, and as a result, 6 pieces had fallen. Could it be that Genji was calm because he believed that he alone was outside the chessboard and safe? Nanjo thought about it. I think Genji is like a knight, bro. I think he's like a knight that is a part of this game, and he's like, you're gonna use me to the fullest. Because he is one of the most faithful servants of Kinzo, and he's known Kinzo for decades. And he calls himself fucking furniture. Like, and I think Genji knows that he very well could die too. But why? Like, what are you permitting, Genji? Nanjo thought about it. Wasn't everyone just a piece on this chessboard, lined up equally, without any exceptions? Wasn't even Genji, who would gain more of Kinzo's trust than anyone? No. Wasn't Nanjo himself, although proud of his position as Kinzo's only close friend, just another one of the pieces laid out on the chessboard? Yes! Is what is giving.
Genji-san.
Oh, Lord. Nanjo might know a little bit, but not everything, is what is giving. Or... Because if he was really concerned, he would have brought this up to everybody. And he would have been like, y'all, the letter clearly said this shit finna keep on going, bro. But I feel like he's keeping it low-key. Because he's the doctor, and he's the one checking bodies. Like, it makes sense for him to be suspicious. Honestly, in a post-Among Us world, like, anyone can lie. The guest room that Ava and Hideyoshi had moved into was used to house guests before the guest house had been constructed. So until a few years ago, they had stayed in this room every family conference and were very familiar with it. This room, just like a room at a hotel, had a bedroom and a bathroom. Jesus. So even though they were still shut in, it was far more comfortable than the parlor. Yeah. 他のみんなも客室にこもって鍵をかけてりゃええんや。Too bad the internal phone system doesn't fucking work.
夏日姉さんが客間を出るなって威張り散らしてるんだもん。誰も口答えなんてできないでしょ。あの人ずーっと冷や飯を食ってきたから兄さんが死んでやっと天下が来たって張り切ってんのよ。
She is so self-aware and still evil. That's like one of the most dangerous people. Evil looks down. Oh my god. And she married a man that was so nice. That's so funny. She literally can't help it. I get it. He's like, let me check my wife in private. It was the perfect time to say it. You're not wrong. Ava, sulking cutely, sat down beside Hideyoshi, who was lying on the bed watching TV. They're cute. In an annoying way.
でも、こうして二人きりになるのはずいぶん久しぶりよね。
そうやな。思えばわしもお前も老けたもんや。
Oh my god, they're playing the cute music.
ジョージが生まれてから何もかもがあっという間や。
Oh. Damn, they're the two that are close! Excuse me. Goddamn, they're next. They gotta be next. Because they're having this cute little moment. Shit. Ava's eyes looked like they were staring off into the distance. Yes, she had thought it a once-in-a-lifetime chance. Her older brother Kraus had been unable to have a child for quite some time. 6 years passed after his marriage to Natsuhi without any signs of pregnancy, which didn't please Kenzo at all. As for Ava herself, she would be removed from the Ushirumi register anyway when she got married, so whether a successor to the head was born or not, it was all the same to her. So she had thought, right? But then one day, she had a heavenly revelation. Or maybe it was the whisperings of the devil that she had heard in her greed. Perhaps she could remain in the Ushirumi register if she gave birth to a successor first. If things went well, perhaps she could even inherit the Ushirumi family herself. Okay, so this sounds like plotting and conniving, but I really think it was just kind of like, what? Okay, just kidding. It's plotting and conniving. When she proposed this to Hideyoshi, he approved of it instantly. But he went along with it, so I feel like 2 consenting adults, that's fine. This had not been because Hideyoshi also had greedy thoughts. For Hideyoshi, who had no close relatives, it was a chance for him to feel once more that long-forgotten thing called family. Aww. And he does love his family. So he agreed, without hesitation, not to fuss over which family name they were to keep upon getting married, and assented to having his name entered into the Ushirumi family register. It wasn't easy to persuade Kenzo, but as his daughter, Ava knew Kenzo's personality well. So she chose the time when Kenzo was most dissatisfied with Natsuhi, and expertly managed to make him accept Hideyoshi as a son-in-law. A conniver, baby. Looking at Hideyoshi, who had achieved success after starting from nothing, Kenzo might have seen a little bit of himself. He quickly grew to like Hideyoshi and permitted him to transfer into the Ushirumi register. What does that mean if Kenzo doesn't like his own kids, but he thinks Hideyoshi is okay? George would eventually become the successor to the Ishirimiya family. They had raised him strictly with that purpose in mind. George had been with her a while and had grown into a fabulous young man who wouldn't disappoint no matter where he went. That was why she couldn't stand that he was in love with a servant like Shannon. Yeah, her whole plan just fucked. So when she had learned that Shannon had died... Whoa! And the engagement had been invalidated. While part of her had been shocked at the gruesome crime, another part of her had been relieved that her precious George wouldn't be stolen by some servant girl. That's wild. Listen, when you're that level of, like, evil, like, I'm not surprised by her anymore. It's like evil asterisk. She's complicated. I don't think she's killed anybody yet, right? She reminds me of Shion from Higurashi. Just like constantly in the middle of it. Although Shion did kill people. So... She's having a very self-aware moment. She's being very honest. I like it. She's like, my brother complex has driven so much of my life. Hideyoshi sat up and put his arm around Ava. She could feel a warm understanding from him. I'm glad that she genuinely likes him and they're not like, you know, she's just like pulling him by the ear or whatever. A wise man. It's like I said before, George is such a good kid. He has to have good parents, kind of, maybe. That's so sweet. Why are we saying up till today, bro? Ava hung her head, burying her face in Hideyoshi's chest. Probably no one in the parlor could even imagine that this side of Ava existed. You know, I knew because us tough bitches, we always are just complete saps. Yeah, we're tearing apart the two that are close. Hey. He's like, baby, fuck the bullshit. All I need is you. That's real. Period. Girl, fuck the New Year's cards.
次の正月だけはなしや。
Yeah.
年賀状は黙って下のお年玉くじだけチェックするんや。
Period.
今年はカラーテレビくらい当てたいで。
A color TV.
モルジブでお年玉くじのチェックなんてしたくない。
じゃあそいつもなしや。水いらずのんびりでジョージが生まれる直前の新婚時代の続きをちょいとしてみるか。
You know, the love that they have for each other is so similar to the love that George has for Shannon. And yet, her dumbass is like, you don't need to be with her. But it's like, I get why she's doing that, but like, oh.
それならいいわね。
Let your kid be with who he wants to be with.
モルジブはええとこらしいで。なんもない島に美しいサンゴ礁と水上コテージが並んでてな。
新婚時代の続きっていつからなの？
仕事納めしたらすぐや。
Aww.
旅行店に聞いてみんとわからんが、多分大晦日前には。
いや、今すぐがいい。
Oh! Period. Peevishly, or maybe coquettishly, Ava pled for his lips. The only sounds that filled the room were the distant voice of the announcer on the news, which Hideyoshi had left on, and the sorry, and the obnoxious pounding of the rain against the window. Yeah, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's Jover. There was a knock on the door, and Genji-san entered. Honorific.
お夕食の準備が整いました。お食事はまたこちらでよろしいですか?
So the servants were in the room preparing dinner. Everyone else that's not even Hideyoshi were in the parlor, and those two were in the parlor, and they're about to get shanked.
ええ。ここへ運ばせなさい。
Just checking.
南條先生はまだ厨房にいるのですか？
はい。次の一手を熟考したいとおっしゃっております。
And they're playing chess, no less.
ご安心を。
Okay.
他の使用人たちとご一緒です。
源氏さんはじい様の相手ができるくらいチェスが強いもんな。南條先生よりも強いらしいぜ。
そうなんだ。
Okay.
昔相手をしてもらったことがあるけど、あれは勝たせてくれたのかな。
I need them to listen out for shots, bro.
マリア、もうすぐ飯だそうだぜ。
Wait, hang on.
しかし、よく一日中テレビを見ていて飽きねえな。
There we go. That was weird.
いつもテレビいっぱい見てるから平気。
Ooh.
マリアちゃんはテレビっ子なんだね。
Me too, girl.
食事だから机の上を片付けないとダメだぜ。
It was so cluttered with the aftermath of the drawing contest we had all been having, using several pages torn out of Maria's notebook. Jessica began cleaning that up quickly. Still, everyone here sure can draw. Really shocking.
源氏、エヴァさんたちにもせめて食事くらい一緒にしないかとお声をどうせ断るでしょうが。
かしこまりました。
お父様の次はエヴァさんですか。つくづく後宮家の食卓には全員が揃いませんね。
Who gives a shit? Natsuki felt her headache start throbbing again and lightly held her temples. She is not winning the Emmy. The distance from the kitchen to the parlor wasn't that large, so Genji had gone there and back by himself. But the guest room was a little farther away. Only people I trust are the cousins. I think everyone else, bruh. Natsuki had warned him not to be alone without good reason. And just now, Nanjo had also admonished him, saying that it would be better if he held a little more concern for his safety. Genji took Kanon with him, and the two of them went to visit Eva and Hideyoshi in their guest room. I just stay on Kanon's head so hard, because I feel like Kanon gave that fucking letter to Maria. And that is, Genji knocked on the door. So Genji and Kanon are here. He waited a short while for them to come out, but there was no response. Kanon pointed under the door. Okay, bitch. Okay. So Eva and Hideyoshi are also suspicious. Less suspicious, but definitely still suspicious, right? Because no one from their family is dead. And Eva has the most to gain from Kraus being dead. So either they put that there, right? Or one of the goddamn servants put that there. A Western-style envelope had been inserted under it. Normally, when something was inserted this way, it would be interpreted as a message from someone outside to someone in the room. So since this might be a private note meant for Eva and Hideyoshi, it was not something that Kanon and Genji were supposed to take interest in. But this Western-style envelope was Kinzo's envelope, the same as the one Maria had taken out last night and surprised everyone with. Alright. Which one of y'all put that letter down, bro? Although it had been Kinzo's envelope, the author of the letter Maria had read aloud last night had not been Kinzo. Genji continued knocking a little harder and called out in a loud voice. Eva-sama. Eva-sama. Eva. Genji de gozaimasu. Irashaimasu ka? But there was no response from inside. Sometimes when the servants went to call some guests for a meal, the guests would be sleeping so deeply that they wouldn't wake up. In times like that, the servants would stick a letter in the door to show that they had called by, and then leave the guests be. However, despite that, Genji beat even harder on the door and called out Eva's name. But there was no answer. Kanon stuck his ear up to the door and, holding its breath, listened for any sounds coming from inside. Right, I agree. That's what we heard. Is the door locked? Genji took out a handkerchief and, careful not to touch it with his bare hands, gently pulled out the envelope which had been stuck under the door. It had been sealed with deep red sealing wax. Without a doubt, the mark on that sealing wax had come from the Ushiramiya family's head ring. Eva-sama! Eva-sama! Even so, there was still no answer. There was a chance that the two were aimlessly walking around the mansion. This was the home Eva had grown up in. There was plenty of reason to think that she had gone out on a casual stroll. Genji groped around in his pocket and pulled out a bundle of keys, including the one that would open the guest room. Okay, so you had a key to this room. Kanon also understood what this meant. They would sometimes unlock a guest door so they could go in and do things like make the beds, but only after they had made sure the guest was out. To unlock the door for a separate reason, and especially to do so when there was a chance the guests were still in there, and without their permission, was an action unbecoming of a servant. However, Genji had decided. If the only problem had been that his knock hadn't received a reply, he wouldn't have gone this far. The envelope under the door was doubtlessly Kenzo's. Or rather, one of the Western-style envelopes of the Ushiramiya family head. Kenzo's not in there, bro. Don't even play with me. And after last night, the sender of the envelope could be someone other than Kenzo. If Kenzo is in here, that'd be kind of nuts. If this letter had been sent by someone other than Kenzo... they're done. I already know. After giving that final notice, Genji stuck one of the keys from the bundle into the keyhole. So the servants have keys to the doors. Okay, don't play with me. There was the sound of the door unlocking. And then he slowly turned the knob and slowly started opening the door. Light seeped through the crack of the door. Were they in the room? Or had they forgotten to turn out the lights? Clank. It was the sound of the door chain being pulled tight. The chain had been secured. The chain that could only be closed from the inside of the room. Yeah. The chain couldn't be secured from the outside. That meant that they were in the room now. The sound of voices on the TV seeped out of the room. The lights, the chain, and the TV. All of these things made it clear that they were in the room, but there was no sign of them. Genji called to Eva once again through the crack of the door, but there was no answer.
Genji-sama, いかがしますか?
What you need to do is you need to bring everybody here right now, because you found a body. As part of their job, the servants were able to unlock almost any lock in the mansion, but they had no way to open a door with the chain. The only way to get by the chain was to cut it. That was certainly not permitted as part of a servant's usual work. A creepy chill was already rushing up their backs. Cannon held his breath again and tried to sense someone through the door, but even so, he was not able to sense anyone. I don't trust Cannon, bro. So here's the thing. I don't trust any of the servants. The TV's on. The lights are on. They're not answering, so they're in the room. The door was locked until Genji opened it right now. But there's a chain that is locking the door from the inside. Meaning, if it's not these people, right, or the servants, then the culprit could still be in the room. And if Cannon cuts the chain, that breaks the seal on the door. As Cannon rushed away hurriedly to get a cutting tool, he was called back by Genji. Yeah, hang on. A witness? Or because the culprit is still in the room? It looked like Cannon was wondering why he had to do something so troublesome in the middle of this urgent situation. But Genji had said it out of wariness. He didn't care what happened to himself. But in the worst case scenario, he didn't want anything to happen to Cannon. He is still a kid, I guess. In the kitchen was Kumasawa, who was piling food on the serving cart. And Nanjo, who seemed to have thought of a move that would turn the tables on Genji, and who had been awaiting his return, wanting to show him. But he immediately realized that something was wrong with Genji's demeanor. So Cannon and Kumasawa are about to unseal that room. And they're still setting up dinner? Oh man, what was the time, bro? Time has passed. Time has passed. What time is it? That's the real time. It's fine. We'll figure it out. I will go over to Madam. Come with me, Nanjo. Genji took Nanjo, who still didn't know what was going on, and quickly left the kitchen.
Kumasawa-san, 申し訳ありませんが、僕と一緒に来てください。
何があったんですか、カノンさん。
Unable to take in the situation, Kumasawa said almost exactly the same thing as Nanjo and chased after Cannon, who had flown out into the hallway. Accompanied by Kumasawa, Cannon went to the storehouse. And from amongst the tools packed in toolboxes and hanging on the walls, he looked for a tool that could be used to cut the chain.
何を探してるんですか？私も手伝いますよ。
ドアチェーンを切断するんです。大きめの番線カッターはどこだっけ？
Fetch the bolt cutters, Cannon.
ドアチェーンを？どうしてそんなことをするんですか？
エヴァ様たちのお部屋にチェーンが。中にいらっしゃるはずなのに、お声をかけても返事がないんです。
It took Kumasawa some time to figure out how cutting the chain and Eva and Hideyoshi not answering were connected, but she did realize that this was an urgent situation.
これなら多分。
Cannon took down a very large bolt cutter that had been hanging on the wall. If I were them and we know the police are coming tomorrow, I dead ass would leave it. I would just leave it how it is. I would just leave it how it is. I would leave it how it fucking is, bro. Cannon, It was called a cutter, but maybe it would be easier to understand if described as having the shape of a large pair of pliers. He recalled being warned that it was a dangerous tool that could easily cut through one of your fingers. Cannon took that and rushed up the stairs. He knew it instinctively. He would fight for every minute, every second, to fuck up the crime scene. Or maybe, already.
待ってください、カノンさん。
Oh, you trying to, what, run in there and help them?
早く。
Why are you running so fast? Kumasawa eventually caught up with him, gasping for breath with both hands on her knees. When Cannon changed his grip on the bolt cutter and looked up at the door, he let out an ah, struck speechless. Okay. Okay, bitch. Okay. 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 Another magic circle. Square, I guess. On the door that we didn't see before. Kumasawa screamed weakly, her face pallid. That was no surprise, because right there on the door, just like the magic circle that had been drawn on the shutter of the Rose Garden storehouse, there was another eerie shape drawn with paint that looked like blood. It's so funny to me that they keep saying it as paint. Bro, they said that the first time too. They were like, it's a really weird substance meant to look like blood. And it's like, stop playing with me. Stop pulling these damn pranks, bro. However, it was dubious whether this one could be called a magic circle. It was more like a square. A slightly more geometrical circle. However, the strange non-alphabetical characters written in the gaps of the figure were without doubt the same as the magic circle on the shutter. But the thing that had Cannon struck speechless was not how eerie the magic circle was. Only moments ago, this hadn't been here. Wow, I wonder who put it there. He had returned to the kitchen for a short while. He had then gone to the storehouse to grab a tool and headed right back. Hell, Genji could have put it, I don't know. One of their asses put it there. I don't give a shit. Maybe that's why he ran so fast. To draw it real quick. Put those together and it couldn't have been more than 5 minutes. How could someone add something this creepy during that period of time? And as though it had just been drawn, almost like the door itself was bleeding. Several unsettling vertical red lines slowly dripped down, getting longer and longer. Where'd you hide the bucket of paint? Gonna give this old woman a heart attack. Kumasawa's knees gave way and she sank down on the spot. If Kumasawa hadn't done this first, then Cannon surely would have wanted to. Girl. I need y'all to be fucking for real. Beatrice, be fucking for real. Cannon gulped, then readied the bolt cutter and approached the door. He didn't want to get close to this disturbing magic circle, and he really didn't want to touch the steadily dripping substance that looked like blood. But if he didn't get close, he couldn't cut the chain. Fighting this cold feeling, he gulped again, and after gathering his courage, went even closer, putting the bolt cutter up against the chain. He then pressed with all his strength and cut through the chain far more easily than he had imagined. Okay, so we're unsealed now. The cut chain fell into two separate parts, which continued to clang as they swayed back and forth. Okay. So we just left that there. It looked like Kumasawa had also noticed the Western style envelope at the bottom of the door, and that the sealing wax had been sealed with a head's ring. Cannon was lost for just a second over whether he should open the letter first or check inside the room, but he had decided on prioritizing his original purpose. I would not open that letter. I need everyone to see me open that letter, bro, because otherwise you just become suspicious again. Cannon pulled out a handkerchief out of his pocket. This was so he wouldn't leave fingerprints on the door. If his worst fears had been realized, the police would want to investigate this room too. He slowly pushed the door open. He was able to hear the sound of the television that had been seeping out slightly more clearly now. What is it? Ava was face up on the bed. On the bed with her shoes still on? Kumasawa, who had fearfully entered after Cannon, and who was hiding behind his back, screamed a short hee again when she saw Ava like that. Honestly, me, girl, I would be freaked out. Ava's shoes had been the first part of her that Cannon had seen, so the incongruity of wearing shoes in bed was the first thing that entered his mind. But after he shifted his line of sight towards Ava's head, Cannon couldn't help but let out a short scream like Kumasawa. Right in the middle of Ava's forehead, something was set there? Growing there? Oh, no. Right in the center of her forehead, an old-fashioned knife, or some weapon like it, was stuck right in. Damn. So she really got stabbed in the forehead, bitch? Golden slaughterer. That's hard. Oof. This fucking music, bro. Oh, it was pretty hard. From the base where it was stuck in, blood dripped down, staining the sheets on the other side bright red. Kumasawa's knees gave way once more, and she sank down on the floor. Her mouth kept flapping open and closed, but she couldn't even scream. Bruh, stop. Ava with some kind of weapon sticking out of her forehead was dead. Both eyes were open wide, and the image of the person who killed her must have been burned into them. But the mouth with which to speak that truth had already been eternally sealed. Even though that forehead was the last place they wanted to look, they couldn't tear their eyes away from it. Right there, the weapon was stuck into Ava's forehead, standing almost perfectly upright. Ooh. And on the handle was the design so complicated, you could never expect to see it on an ordinary weapon. She was like stabbed with like a mystic knife. That thing could be summed up with the word occult. It was a vulgar object with a design that might have been of some demon. That's kind of hard. Yeah, it should be 2 bodies. Unless he did it. Eva was on top of her bed, but the other bed was empty. Where was Hideyoshi? I can't foresee him killing his wife after that scene we just saw, assuming that scene was real, right? After taking a backward glance up to Masala, still on her knees and stupefied, he checked the bathroom just in case. At the moment he opened the door, he was greeted by steam and the sound of the shower. The bathroom was of the same familiar style as most hotel bathrooms, containing both a bath and a toilet. When taking a shower, a waterproof curtain was used to keep water from flying out. Oh! Damn! They caught him in the tub, bro! Damn! That's crazy. The waterproof curtain was half open. And lying tumbled down in the bathtub was Hideyoshi, completely naked, both eyes still open. Dang! Tumbled down in the bathtub, half open. They got him while he was in the bath, bro. He was naked, so he must have been like, oh, I'm gonna take a bath and it's fine. Stabbed in the forehead? Like, that seems like without a struggle, too. But he's like halfway in the bathtub, so maybe he realized what was happening and he tried to get out? Or was he posed in the bathtub? Whatever. Those eyes are pointing right at Cannon. Oh my god. Just like Ava. A weapon with a demonic design was stuck into his forehead. That is nuts. Since his head had been under the hot water of the shower the whole time, his face wasn't half covered and filthy with blood, like Ava's had been. Oh, Jesus. But the sight of him dead was still taking a shower was tragic enough. Just then, Natsuki's voice rang through the hall. She was probably coming with Genji. And the kids aren't here? It's only them? Okay. See, I feel like this could be a timing thing, right? Like, what is the order that all this is happening in? I need to see all alive people at the same time for me to confirm anything. Like, bruh. Damn! Damn! Oh my god. Okay, so here's the thing. The 6 people that died, they got their faces, like, bashed in, right? So that you can't exactly see how they died, but I'm guessing it was with a shotgun. Because I'm not playing that witch shit. They just got stabbed? Really? Damn! No other? Found on the bed of a guest room inside the mansion with a weapon resembling an ice pick having been rammed into her forehead. Shit! The windows and doors to the room were locked from the inside and even the chain was set. No way could a human have killed her. Found in the bathroom. This has to be Maria's notebook. Found in the bathroom of the same guest room that Ava was found in, with a weapon resembling an ice pick having been rammed into his forehead, just the same as Ava. You can't see either of them by looking through the gap of the door. Can't see, can't reach. Again with this graffiti. What about this letter? What does it say inside? I need the kids to be here. Oh, George, both your parents are dead, bro. Oh, that's so sad. He should have stayed with his parents. Just kidding. Stating this with finality, Natsuki picked up the envelope. And before checking its contents, she entered the room herself, where she found Ava dead. I know she's happy. Mm-hmm. Poor Hideyoshi.
シャワーを止めてあげます。気の毒にも程があります。はい。
Cannon gripped his handkerchief and twisted the valve, turning off the shower. In the bathtub, a small bottle of body soap had fallen with its cap off. It really looked like he had been attacked right in the middle of taking a shower. A spray of blood still clung slightly to the white bathtub, and the combination of red and white made a horrible contrast. Yeah, just do the autopsy. So they were literally just killed. Yeah. You know what happened an hour ago? Him and fucking Cannon were at this goddamn door bullshitting. You have to stab really hard. Najo checked their pulse and their pupils, making certain of their deaths once more. As Cannon watched this business-like treatment, he thought, couldn't you tell at a glance that they're dead without doing all that? Bruh. Bruh. Why are you thinking like this, Cannon? Najo thought about removing the weapon, but after deciding that where possible it would be better to hand the scene over to the police without disturbing it, he left it alone. I'm sure you would think that, Cannon. However, a close examination of the base revealed that it had no blade. Or rather, it wasn't shaped like a flat blade, but was conical. You could still stab, right? He noticed that rather than a knife, it was more like a short-handled spear, something with a shape better suited for thrusting than slicing. Would it not have, like, cracked, maybe? Whatever. Rather than a short spear, some people might call it a thick ice pick. Yeah, you can get stabbed with an ice pick. At any rate, the original hideous purpose for which this weapon with its unsettling design was made, and exactly how that purpose was carried out, were both displayed here in such a glaring fashion that there was absolutely no need to use further words to describe it. Natsuhi, hoping to escape the repulsive steam filling the bathroom as soon as she could, covered her mouth with a handkerchief and dashed from the room. Just viewing their gruesome bodies for an instant had been enough to burn the image into her eyes. If she looked any longer, that image would surely remain in her vision for all eternity. The rising urge to vomit was exactly the same feeling she had that moment at the gardening storehouse. For a while, Natsuhi couldn't help but stand with her back facing the guest room, fighting that sickness in her stomach. Okay, so she's squeamish. They're not worried enough for me. They're not worried enough for me. Are they just gonna go back and be like, hey, so George, your parents are dead? Like, what? Like, yeah, you don't gotta see it, but like, how are we gonna explain this? But the recklessly approaching footsteps were obviously, damn, George's even before he came flying into the room. George and the other children had been waiting in the parlor, but when they had seen Genji call Natsuhi out and had noticed her turn pale and fly out of the room, they had felt that he might have been the bearer of bad news. And when they saw a large group of people gathered around the guest room, they were sure of it. Bro. Yeah. Let's get our resident expert out. There she is. Cannon didn't have to say anything. George's scream after he ran into the room told them everything they needed to know. Dang. My man lost his fiance and his parents in the same day. The same 24 hours. Yeah, where was that energy before, George? When it was, I don't want to suspect anybody here. Yeah, now that your parents are both gone, it's game time. I'm telling you. Put the detective hat on. What do you mean hang in there? 8 people are dead. Natsuhi touched George's shoulders with her hand, but he violently shook her off. George collapsed to the floor beside Ava and buried his face in the bed in front of his mother's face, wailing. Poor kid, bro. And he pounded on the bed with his fists over and over again. How you gonna say hang in there? Let him cook, bro. Let him grieve. Battler had his back against the wall of the hallway and was without restraint, covering his eyes with his right hand and weeping. Bruh. I'm saying. I'm saying. And so when I say we need to lock the servants in a room, that's crazy. Okay. Of course, he felt sorry for everyone who had died, but Battler felt far more sorry for those who had been left alone by the deaths of others. Everyone here now had lost someone close to them. George wasn't the only one he felt sorry for. However, George's pain was far greater than everyone else's. Yeah, this is like the worst day of George's life. You should totally get a tattoo. Cruel. Maria tried to comfort Battler in a mechanical sounding voice. Battler violently wiped his tears. Zen, damada. Yeah. Yeah, fuck the witch. It's not looking that way, but we still got like what, like 8 more people, 10 more people. Yeah. But if I just started shooting everybody in the leg, like, I would be crazy. You know? Like, let's just shoot everybody in the leg real quick. Okay? Oh my god. Okay, we'll stop here. I think all of that just made the servants they just pissed me off even more, bro. Look at them. It's still 3 alive. They were the first ones to discover both crime scenes, okay? How they did it, I don't fucking know exactly. But just on a tier list of like suspiciality, it's them. And maybe them and him, I'm not too sure. But I don't think it's them. I never thought it was them. She's looking real shiesty too. You're not out the woods yet, okay? I never thought it was Ava or Hideyoshi. Although Ava looked suspicious, right? She had the most to gain. But literally this hoe and all the servants took a long ass walk around the mansion, bro. Like in between the first set of murders and this set of murders. So don't play with me. Anyway, we have like 5 more deaths upcoming, so that'll be exciting.